Hi, everybody. My name is Linda, and I met Leah at the Fort Worth Botanical Gardens at a health fair, and she had a big sign overhead that said, uh, rejuvenate your cells. And I said, "What is that?" And she told me all about it. And I said, "I have to have everything." I was so sick. I could barely stand up that day. I am 77, and I had just regular health for a 77-year-old. And then I got COVID. And because of COVID, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called MCAS, and it has to do with mast cells, MAST cells in your gut area. And apparently, everything in my system was all messed up. It affects every organ in your body. I went to 5 different doctors. My symptoms were histamine intolerance. I had huge itching blisters all over me. I had upper abdominal pain, nausea, uh, bloating. I had terrible allergies, very, very strong fatigue. I could barely get out of bed. I had a racing heartbeat. I had neuropathy in my legs and feet. I had my lymph glands were swollen and sore. I couldn't swallow. I had to go to the hospital twice and have food taken out that would not go down, my throat. Lots of anxiety, sores on my tongue. I mean, it was really horrible. All I could eat was chicken. And so I began to eat chicken 3 times a day. And, you just want to give up. You can't go very long with those kinds of symptoms, and not having anything to eat and feel like you can live any kind of a quality life. You just want to die. And so I went to 5 doctors, regular doctors, and they said, yeah, there's nothing we can do for you. There's an autoimmune disease. And if you don't learn to manage it, you're going to get rheumatoid arthritis or multiple sclerosis. And we can give you steroids and we can give you antihistamines, but we can't do anything else for you. And so I began to do a lot of research on my own and found some holistic doctors and things like that. And then I met Leah. The holistic doctors were very nice and very good, and they suggested a lot of things, and it helped a little bit with some of the things, but really not so that I could eat anything besides chicken. And so I began to patch on Thanksgiving Day, November the 25th, I think it was 26th. And I've been patching now for 4 months. And after 45 days, my symptoms disappeared. And I was so sick and feeling like I wasn't going to make it much longer that I used every patch. I just put them all on. I didn't know that they recommend that you start slow and then you add patches as you go along and get used to everything. I didn't know that, so I just used all of them. And so after 45 days, my symptoms disappeared. And uh, back last year when I was diagnosed, I got a blood test. The doctors did give me a blood test, and all of my blood markers were off. None of them were right. They were either way too high or way too low, very in the dangerous zone, and the doctors just said, "We're sorry. We just don't have anything for you except steroids." And so about a month ago, I my holistic doctor, I got a blood test for her, and all of my blood markers are in the normal range now, every one of them. And I feel very good. Um, for a 77-year-old, you kind of have things that you have to watch and you have to do right. You have to eat right. I gave up all refined sugar, all soft drinks, anything with fizzy water in them. Um, And so I have to watch what I eat, but now I can eat anything I want, really. I can eat beef, any vegetable, uh, any kind of meat, really. Whereas before, you couldn't eat anything but chicken, unless you wanted to break out with these blisters. So I can't say enough good about them. I really can't. I my one of my symptoms was I could not sleep at all, and now I'm sleeping very good, and I just am getting better every day. I noticed cognitively, I'm I'm sharper. I can think. I can make lists. I can get done what I need to get done. I just did my taxes by myself, and you know, previous to this, I probably couldn't have done that because I just couldn't think straight. I couldn't think what to do. And so I am sold on them. I know they're having a big impact on my system because of those blood tests recently that I got that say that I all my markers are in the normal zone. And so I'm just looking forward to the future and seeing what else happens. And I'm just telling everybody about them so that they can be helped also.
I love that. So take us back just a little bit. How long have you suffered? Now, when you guys, when I met Linda, I would have never known any of this, right? She looked just like a normal average lady that came up to learn more about the technology. And when she shared with me later, and it wasn't until just a few months ago that she shared all of this with me, I was absolutely blown away. Linda, how many years had you lived that way where you could only eat chicken and you just were so severely fatigued and the pain? How many years were you living like that?
I had COVID in October of 23, and early part of 24, I was diagnosed. First of all my hair fell out after COVID, every bit of it. And I went to the doctor, and he said, well, you've had COVID, so that's kind of normal. He said, watch out for autoimmune diseases. You might be getting one of those. You know, I didn't know what he was talking about. And so very shortly after that, then I started having all these symptoms. So it was about 8 months that, but some people, I belong to two uh, support groups on Facebook with people that have this disease, and some of them have had it for years and years and years. Some of them commit suicide because you get to the point where you think, I can't do this anymore. I hurt so bad. So it, these patches to me were a godsend. They really they saved my life.